Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Oh, the taste of success. Look at that. I got it just like they do in the picture. And let me tell you, there's only 82 left. You're looking at a live shot right there. Only 82 left. I love it. I love it. I love it that this has been a success. A lot of people out there love the wood grain like I do, and they have their piece of nostalgia. For me, guys, I know there's a lot of games on it, but I'm stuck on two games right now. And it's Astro Smash and Night Stalker. That's all I'm playing right now. I dabble a little on the other ones, but for this holiday, that's what I'm doing. And I love that it has everything on there. I love the overlays. I love the feel of this. And yes, now everybody's on the bandwagon. But if you supported other consoles, right? If you supported other consoles that sell cardboard to customers, which are releasing, this game is going to release on the Switch in January, right? And if you supported a console that sold customers these games and don't give them the actual games, give them some sort of refund, against their pre-order money and all that stuff, man, look, I'm going to give you a come to Jesus meeting right now. You want to be part of the group. You don't want to be the little wooden hand there. I see you trying out there. I see you trying to get that stench off of you, but you got to eat crow at some time. You got to say, you know what, this isn't just. Giving customers that paid for a game, giving them, not giving them their game, even though we canceled the console, and the console is never going to happen the way they intended to. Just say, you got to eat crow at some time. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody can be wrong, guys. I'm not sitting here, what do they call it? The kids call it gatekeeping or whatever. I don't even know what the right term is. I'm not wanting to exclude anybody. But if you're a supporter of something like this and you can't admit to yourself that it looks wrong, you got a problem, right? Doesn't matter how nice the people were to you. If somebody can be really, really nice. If I know a guy, and back in the neighborhood, I knew some guys that did really, really bad stuff, right? Just because they were nice to me doesn't mean that the bad stuff that they did wasn't bad, And that's the position you're in until you acknowledge what happened and how wrong it was for the customers. I don't think you're going to get back in the crew. You can't put your hand in there, right? You can't put your hand in there. You're going to be the little wooden hand. But now getting back to this. The taste of the glory. The taste of the glory. Yes. Guys, I'm happy that this has a successful, good first step, right? For those of us who want to see, let me show you. Oh, hold on a second here. For those of us who want to actually plug in, our cartridges in something like this, right? It's a good first step because they shows that they're interested. How much more would it be? Who knows? These are $149, and at that price, there's only 82 left. I'm sure that people, after they go back to Best Buy or wherever to return stuff, and they say, well, I didn't want that. I didn't want Amico Home Games. I want a refund. I want to be cool like Gen X Gamer. I want to have a sprint so I can play Astro Smash. Maybe they'll go back and get their Astro Smash, right? Cool. However many they did, I have to imagine that it's at least 10 G's, right? Between 5 and 10, I would be safely to say. But as far as an investment, I think it was successful for the company. And we really have to give props to Atari. This is really a win for Atari, that they were able to surmount such a negative thing, that is what the Intellivision Amico had done to the Intellivision brand, right? Now we don't even talk about it. It's like a blank space in history. We don't even mention that stuff, But yeah, we have to talk about it because, until we acknowledge it, we're about to repeat it ourselves, and that's the problem with social media, that you can make mistakes and they just pretend like it didn't happen. Like, oh, okay, well, But let me tell you, when you're talking about $15 to $19 million or whatever the hell it was. I can't even remember anymore. You know, I was also going to drop my Sprint here. Just thinking about that kind of money. Guys, you know, you just can't let it go like that. Like, you know, like something happened. But what is in the future, right? What is in the future for this, for the Intellivision brand? You know, let me tell you guys, this is what I think. I think before we see the Intellivision console again in any iteration, I think that we're going to see some, you know, retro reimagined ports of these games, and that would be a good thing, you know, especially when it comes to Astro Smash, when it comes to Night Stalker and some other properties. Guys, I want to see Cloudy Mountain, man. I mean, Cloudy Mountain, I would, day one, collector's edition, whatever it is, I'm all in. $39.99, I'm there. That, just the concept of the game was great, you know, and that was actually retro reimagined, where it actually took you back, you know, and with new graphics, but the old Running Man and the different weapons, man, it just, those were the things that excited you about the old project, right? That Atari can bring in to today. You know, they can really bring it in. You know, and everybody's welcome to enjoy these video games, guys. It really is. And the only way to get past through all the negativity from before, from all the crap that happened, is to actually acknowledge that it happened. You know, everybody screws up. You know, when it comes to the Intellivision Amico, when it first came out, I was all for it. As a matter of fact, I started out defending Tommy because, you know, at that point, he didn't want any money. He wasn't asking for money. He was just talking about the Intellivision, and I think I said in my video, he's saying it with his chest. He's out there promoting this stuff. As soon as he asked for money, and the way he was asking for it didn't make sense, you know, I had to turn around and say, hey, you know, I was wrong. Like, I was wrong. This was early on, to the point that you know, they labeled me a hater because I was simply pointing out with math, because, you know, math is a thing, that the investment numbers that they were offering were not plausible, not feasible, were highly unlikely, less than lottery money at some point. And, you know, some people still think that this is a defensible position for this company to be producing these things, to be paying people that actually did nothing, just paying them for their name, and that's where investors' money went. And, you know, we all know the story, right? But right now, you can just look at a game like this, which I paid for, many customers paid for right off the bat. And, you know, after they couldn't make the console because Juan Alvarado is probably the worst employee they could have picked to this project, in my humble opinion, okay? Based on his work, right? Based on his labor, he was not the right man for the job. In my humble opinion, right? But if you're going to put out the game and didn't put out the console, and people paid you for the game, I think it's a right thing to do, to give people the game. You know, all the people. I mean, not me. I got my money's worth just out of the entertainment of people stopping by and telling me how wrong I was. That was the most entertaining part. But there's a lot of people out there that invested a lot of time and money into that company, and for people out there to be, you know, jumping on this bandwagon right now, well, you haven't done a mea culpa and said, you know what, I'm going to eat crow too. And like I said, we can all be wrong. You know, to err is human, right? To err is human, so we can all make mistakes. But if you want to be part of the crew, right, and not be, because we're looking at you sideways, man. We're like, really? Oh, really? 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 They're all about the Sprint now, man. All right, humans. That's just a little victory lap, I guess. I don't know. But I really, really do love my Sprint. And I want to congratulate Atari on a job well done. They brought to me my sweet, delicious wood grain. Oh, yeah. I'll catch you on the next one. If you like these kind of videos, make sure you like, subscribe, and if you're really cool, join the channel for 99 cents. Take care.